In our fast-paced, information-saturated world, many of us are constantly searching for ways to get ahead, whether that means advancing our careers, improving our intellect, or simply achieving more in less time. But what if I told you that the secret to becoming truly smarter isn't in acquiring more knowledge, but in refining how you think, how you respond, and how you act in everyday situations? Ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus didn't have access to modern technology, the internet, or the countless distractions we face today, yet their wisdom has stood the test of time. What if their insights could help us sharpen our minds, improve our decision-making, and cultivate the kind of mental clarity that truly leads to success? In this video, we'll dive into 7 everyday habits inspired by Stoic philosophy that will make you not just smarter, but wiser, more resilient, and better equipped to navigate the challenges of modern life. These habits aren't about gaining more knowledge, they're about mastering your mind. If you're ready to transform your life with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, then keep watching. Number 1. The power of Stoic wisdom. Wisdom is often thought of as a lofty concept, something reserved for scholars or philosophers. But the Stoics, in their timeless wisdom, understood that true wisdom is not just about acquiring knowledge. It's about knowing how to live well, how to act virtuously, and how to respond to the challenges life throws at us. In their view, wisdom is the foundation of a flourishing life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This insight speaks to the very heart of Stoic wisdom. Our inner life determines the course of our external one. Wisdom, then, is not about knowing everything. It's about knowing what is essential and focusing on what we can control. Let's take a moment to think about a situation you've experienced. Perhaps a stressful work deadline, a difficult conversation with a friend, or a sudden unexpected setback. How did you respond? Did you allow your emotions to take over? Did you lose your sense of clarity? Or were you able to pause, reflect, and choose a course of action aligned with your values? This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. The Stoics believe that wisdom is not just theoretical, it's practical. It's the ability to make decisions based on reason, not emotion. It's about mastering your internal state, regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine being able to face any situation, no matter how stressful or unexpected, and remain calm, composed, and clear-headed. This is the power of Stoic wisdom. It empowers us to make decisions grounded in virtue, not in fleeting emotions. It teaches us that wisdom is not about how much we know, but about how we apply that knowledge in real, everyday situations. One practical way we can begin to cultivate Stoic wisdom today is through daily reflection. The Stoics practiced a form of self-examination, asking themselves questions like, did I live according to my values today? Did I respond to challenges with patience and understanding? This kind of reflective practice helps us recognize where we've acted wisely and where we can improve. Wisdom, according to the Stoics, also involves recognizing what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the circumstances of life, but we can control how we respond to them. This distinction is the essence of Stoic wisdom. It frees us from the frustration of trying to control the uncontrollable and focuses our energy on what truly matters. So, as we go about our lives, we must ask ourselves, am I living in accordance with wisdom? Am I focusing on what I can control and accepting what I cannot? Now that we understand the core of Stoic wisdom, how can we apply it in a way that sharpens our minds and helps us grow intellectually? The next key practice involves mastering our emotions. After all, wisdom is closely tied to emotional self-control, being able to think clearly, even when our emotions threaten to cloud our judgment. No. 2. Mastering your emotions. Imagine a moment when you've been caught off guard by an intense emotion, perhaps anger, frustration, or even overwhelming anxiety. In that split second, your heart races, your thoughts scatter, and your ability to think clearly is hijacked by the surge of emotion. We've all been there. But what if, instead of being swept away by that emotional current, you could pause, regain control, and respond with calm and clarity? This is where the Stoic practice of emotional self-control comes in. The Stoics understood that emotions, while natural, can cloud our judgment and lead us to make decisions we later regret. They believe that mastering our emotions was key to achieving mental clarity and making wise choices. As Seneca, one of the Stoic greats, put it, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Emotions, particularly those born from our thoughts and perceptions, have the power to distort our reality, creating unnecessary suffering. Take the example of anger. When we're angry, our thoughts become irrational. We might lash out, speak before thinking, or act in ways that harm ourselves or others. The Stoics taught that anger, like all emotions, isn't something that happens to us, it's a choice. It arises when we believe something unjust has occurred, when we let our perceptions dictate our response. But the Stoic way is different. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can practice pausing before we speak or act, allowing ourselves to reflect. This moment of stillness creates space between the stimulus, the thing that made us angry, and our response. By choosing to respond with reason rather than emotion, we can prevent ourselves from falling into the trap of emotional hijacking. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our interpretations of things." The key to emotional self-control lies in our ability to change the way we perceive situations. If we can learn to see challenges and provocations as opportunities for growth, rather than threats to our peace, we can remain in control of our emotions. But how can we practically cultivate this emotional mastery in our daily lives? The Stoics recommended a few strategies. One effective technique is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This involves imagining potential challenges or frustrations we might face in a day, mentally preparing ourselves for them in advance. By doing this, we reduce the emotional impact when those situations inevitably arise. Another powerful Stoic practice is journaling. Writing down our thoughts helps us process emotions in a constructive way. When we're able to reflect on a situation after the fact, we can often see more clearly how we allowed ourselves to be controlled by emotion, and we can learn from it. Think about a recent situation where your emotions got the better of you. Could you have handled it differently if you had paused for just a moment? By recognizing our emotional triggers and practicing self-control, we gradually build the strength to act in accordance with reason, not impulse. This is how we sharpen our minds and improve clarity of thought. Mastering emotions isn't about suppressing them. It's about understanding them, choosing how to respond to them, and ensuring they don't dictate our actions. And the beauty of this practice is that, as we grow in emotional mastery, we become not only more rational thinkers, but also more resilient individuals who can face the complexities of life with a calm mind. Now that we've seen how emotional control enhances our clarity of thought, let's explore a crucial next step, the practice of daily reflection. By taking time each day to review our actions and thoughts, we deepen our understanding and sharpen our minds even further. This daily habit allows us to learn from our experiences and continually improve. Let's dive into the power of self-reflection. The practice of daily reflection. In our modern world, where distractions are endless and the pace of life accelerates every day, it's easy to overlook the power of simply stopping, of taking a moment to pause, reflect and consider the day that's passed. Yet for the Stoics, daily reflection was an essential practice, one that they believed was vital for sharpening the mind, improving decision-making, and strengthening our inner focus. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, dedicated much of his writing to reflection. He would begin each day with an intention, asking himself how he could live in accordance with his values. At the end of each day, he would reflect on his actions and thoughts, striving to learn from any mistakes or moments of weakness. This daily practice wasn't just a way to track his progress. It was an essential part of his quest to grow wiser, more virtuous, and more in control of his mind. Why is reflection so powerful? At its core, it provides us with the space to observe our thoughts, actions, and responses from a distance. It's like stepping back from a painting to appreciate its full picture. Without reflection, we are often caught in the whirlwind of our emotions and daily tasks, reacting without consideration. Reflection allows us to pause and ask, did I act in line with my values today? Did I respond thoughtfully or impulsively? Where can I improve tomorrow? The Stoics believed that by examining our lives regularly, we gain the ability to become more attuned to our own behavior and our own thinking patterns. Epictetus once said, "We are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." Through reflection, we can identify the thoughts that led to distress and mental confusion, allowing us to root out unhelpful patterns and replace them with healthier, more productive habits. Think of reflection as mental training. Just as an athlete reviews their performance after a game to identify areas for improvement, we can review our thoughts and actions at the end of each day. This process sharpens our awareness, increases our emotional intelligence, and enhances our cognitive abilities. By regularly reviewing how we handled challenges, we can develop the wisdom to make better decisions in the future. Reflection also cultivates a sense of control over our own minds. Instead of being led by impulsive reactions or emotional outbursts, we begin to direct our thoughts with intention. We can ask ourselves, did I let my emotions govern me? Or did I respond with reason and patience? By asking these questions, we start to identify which situations we handled well and which ones could have been handled differently, leading us to greater self-awareness and mental clarity. A practical way to incorporate this Stoic habit into your life is through journaling. The act of writing down your thoughts at the end of each day helps solidify your reflections. You might start by writing about your interactions, how you felt during the day, and any challenges you faced. Then analyze your responses. Were they rational? Were they in line with your values? Writing allows you to externalize your thoughts, making it easier to assess them objectively. But reflection isn't limited to the end of the day. The Stoics often recommended periodic moments throughout the day to pause and reassess. When faced with a difficult decision or challenge, take a brief moment to ask yourself, what would wisdom guide me to do here? These moments of reflection act as mental resets, helping us regain clarity and focus in the heat of the moment. By consistently reflecting on our lives, we not only enhance our mental acuity but also strengthen our focus, becoming more deliberate in our actions and more aware of our inner workings. The more we practice this, the easier it becomes to align our decisions with our long-term goals, rather than being swept away by fleeting emotions or external distractions. Now that we've seen how daily reflection can sharpen our minds and fortify our focus, let's explore how we can build even more resilience and clarity through cultivating mental toughness. What happens when life throws constant challenges at us? How can we maintain our composure when faced with adversity? That's where the next Stoic principle comes in: cultivating mental resilience. Stay tuned as we dive into this powerful practice. Number 4. Cultivating mental resilience. Imagine this. You're facing an unexpected crisis. Perhaps a sudden setback at work, a personal challenge, or even a global issue that disrupts your plans. The initial reaction for many of us is panic, frustration, or a sense of helplessness. In that moment, the chaos of the situation can cloud our judgment, and we may struggle to make rational decisions. But what if, instead of succumbing to the emotional storm, you could remain calm, composed, and focused on finding a solution? This is the essence of mental resilience, a core practice in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that life is filled with challenges, adversity, and uncertainty. Rather than avoiding these difficulties, they believed in embracing them as opportunities for growth. Mental resilience isn't about denying our emotions or pretending we're unaffected by hardship. It's about learning how to respond to adversity in a way that maintains our inner clarity and composure. It's about staying rational, even when everything around us seems chaotic. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom lies at the heart of Stoic resilience. Our emotions, while natural, don't need to control us. Instead, we have the power to choose our response, to pause and reflect, and to move forward with reason rather than reaction. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe it was a personal conflict, a financial setback, or an overwhelming workload. In that moment, you likely experienced a surge of emotion, anger, anxiety, or frustration. But in the face of this emotional turmoil, the Stoic approach would have been to ask yourself, what is within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? This ability to step back and reframe a situation is at the core of Stoic mental resilience. The Stoics taught that we should focus only on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. Everything else, the opinions of others, the events that unfold in our lives, the unpredictable nature of the world, is outside our control. And once we accept this truth, we can approach adversity with a clear mind and unwavering purpose. A powerful Stoic exercise to cultivate resilience is the practice of negative visualization. This technique involves imagining the worst-case scenario, not to invite despair, but to prepare ourselves mentally for whatever may come. By contemplating possible challenges, we build a sense of mental toughness that helps us face reality without being blindsided by fear or frustration. For example, imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. Rather than imagining everything going perfectly, you might take a moment to envision the presentation not going as planned. Perhaps the technology fails or you forget your words. Instead of letting this fear paralyze you, the Stoic approach is to calmly ask, "What can I do if this happens? How can I stay composed and make the best of the situation?" This mental preparation doesn't make you immune to difficulties, but it does help you remain calm and clear-headed when challenges arise. Another key Stoic principle that strengthens resilience is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. The Stoics believe that everything that happens, even hardship and misfortune, is an opportunity for growth. By accepting the ups and downs of life, we become more adaptable and less likely to be overwhelmed by challenges. Rather than seeing obstacles as threats, we can view them as chances to refine our character, deepen our wisdom, and practice our resilience. Through these practices, we build a mindset that is less reactive and more proactive. We learn to face life's challenges not with fear or frustration, but with a calm resolve to make the best of the situation. This is mental resilience, the ability to remain rational, clear-headed, and focused on what we can control, regardless of external circumstances. Now that we've explored how cultivating mental resilience can help us stay grounded in the face of adversity, let's turn our attention to an equally important Stoic principle: living in alignment with nature. By understanding our place in the world and focusing on what is truly important, we can navigate even the most difficult situations with clarity and purpose. Let's dive into how aligning our actions with nature can provide lasting clarity and strength in times of challenge. Number 5. Living according to nature. Have you ever found yourself stuck in the hustle and bustle of life, chasing after goals that seem important but ultimately leave you feeling empty? Or perhaps you've struggled with making decisions, unsure whether you're choosing what's best for you, or simply reacting to the pressures around you. In moments like these, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But what if there was a way to navigate life more purposefully? By aligning your actions with something greater, something rooted in nature itself. This is the essence of the Stoic principle of living according to nature. For the Stoics, nature was not just a collection of trees, rivers, and mountains. It represented the rational order of the universe, the fundamental principles that govern human life and the natural world. To live in accordance with nature, then, means to act in harmony with our rationality, our virtues, and our inherent purpose as human beings. The Stoics believed that human beings are uniquely rational creatures, and that living in alignment with nature means living in alignment with reason. When we act according to our rational mind, we make decisions that are productive, purposeful, and in harmony with our true nature. But this doesn't mean following every whim or impulse that comes to mind. It means cultivating discipline and focusing on what is truly important. Take a moment to think about your daily actions. How often do you make decisions based on external pressures, what others think, societal expectations, or fleeting desires? How often do you act out of alignment with your deeper values only to regret it later? The Stoics would argue that living according to nature means prioritizing what is rational and truly productive, rather than being swept along by external influences or our own fleeting emotions. Seneca, in his letters, wrote that a good character is not a passive gift. It must be shaped and formed. In other words, living in harmony with nature is not a passive experience. It's an active process that requires effort and intentionality. We must constantly choose to act in ways that reflect our rational nature, not by simply reacting to the world around us, but by thinking through our choices, considering the consequences, and making decisions that align with our true purpose. Living according to nature also means accepting the natural course of life and the world around us. We cannot control everything that happens, and many things are beyond our power. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control, our actions, our thoughts, our responses, and to let go of the rest. When we accept the things we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and frustration. For example, let's consider a situation at work where you're faced with an unexpected challenge. Your first impulse might be to panic, resist, or feel frustrated by the inconvenience. But the Stoic approach is to step back and ask, what is within my control here? What can I do to act rationally and effectively in this situation? By focusing on what is rational and productive, you align your actions with nature, not reacting out of fear or frustration, but responding with reason and purpose. Living according to nature also means prioritizing the things that bring true fulfillment. In our fast-paced, goal-driven world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of external success, such as wealth, status, or recognition. However, the Stoics believe that these things, while not inherently bad, should not be the guiding force of our lives. True fulfillment comes from cultivating virtue, from acting in accordance with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. By focusing on these internal qualities, we align ourselves with our true nature and live a life of greater meaning and purpose. In practical terms, living according to nature might involve simplifying your life, removing unnecessary distractions, and focusing on what truly matters. It means prioritizing activities that align with your deeper values. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing intellectual growth, or contributing to the well-being of others. When we live with intention and purpose, guided by reason and virtue, we are living in harmony with nature and creating a life that is smarter, more productive, and deeply fulfilling. As we reflect on the importance of living in alignment with nature, it's clear that this principle not only helps us make wiser decisions, but also gives us a sense of purpose in our daily actions. But what happens when we face inevitable obstacles or periods of doubt in this pursuit? How do we stay grounded in our values and continue moving forward, even in the face of adversity? That's where the next Stoic principle comes in, the practice of virtue, how cultivating moral excellence strengthens our resolve and guides us through life's challenges. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into this essential aspect of Stoic living. Number 6, prioritizing what you can control. Life is full of uncertainties, unexpected events, shifting circumstances, and outcomes that lie entirely outside our influence. In the face of these unpredictable elements, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of things we can't control. But what if the key to making smarter, clearer decisions lies not in managing everything around us, but in narrowing our focus to what we actually can control? This is the core principle of Stoic thought, focusing only on what is within our control. The Stoics recognize that while we can't control the external world or the actions of others, we have full dominion over our thoughts, our responses, and our actions. By honing in on what we can control, we sharpen our ability to make decisions that are purposeful, rational, and aligned with our values. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the Stoic mindset. Our thoughts and actions are the only things we truly control. By focusing our energy on these internal aspects, we not only regain a sense of agency, but we also free ourselves from the unnecessary burden of trying to control what's beyond our reach. Imagine you're facing a difficult situation. Perhaps you've been passed over for a promotion, or a personal relationship is going through a rocky period. In such moments, it's natural to feel frustration, disappointment, or even anger. However, when we focus on what is within our control, we realize that while we can't change the past or force others to act in a certain way, we can control our response. We can choose how to learn from the experience, how to improve ourselves, and how to move forward with grace. By doing this, we not only cultivate emotional resilience, but also enhance our decision-making skills. When we focus only on what we can control, we avoid wasting time and energy on futile efforts, which in turn allows us to make decisions more efficiently and with greater clarity. For example, instead of dwelling on why you didn't get the promotion, you can channel your energy into learning new skills or improving your work performance. Rather than fixating on how others treat you, you can focus on how you show up in your relationships, demonstrating kindness, patience, and understanding. The Stoics taught that it's not the external events themselves that disturb us, but our judgment of them. If we attach our sense of peace to things beyond our control, like the behavior of others or external successes, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. But when we accept that we cannot control everything, we shift our focus to what we can influence: our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. This shift in mindset empowers us to approach life's challenges with a sense of purpose and confidence. One way to put this principle into practice is through the daily Stoic practice of dichotomy of control, a mental framework that helps us differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. At the beginning of each day, or when faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, what aspects of this situation are within my control? What aspects are outside of it? By consciously recognizing what's within your power, you can direct your attention and energy where it will be most effective. Take, for example, a scenario where you are preparing for an important meeting or presentation. You can't control the outcome, whether your audience agrees with you, whether your boss is impressed, or whether you face technical difficulties. But you can control your preparation, your attitude, and your ability to remain calm and confident. By focusing on these controllable aspects, you free yourself from the stress of trying to predict or manipulate the outcome, allowing you to make clear, rational decisions throughout the process. Prioritizing what you can control also involves letting go of the need for external validation. Stoics believe that we should seek fulfillment not from accolades or approval from others, but from living virtuously, acting in accordance with reason, wisdom, and integrity. When we focus on these internal qualities, our decisions become sharper and more aligned with our long-term values, rather than driven by momentary desires or fears. By embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control, we not only regain our sense of agency, but also enhance our ability to make wise decisions, regardless of external circumstances. This practice sharpens our clarity of thought, allowing us to navigate challenges with greater focus and purpose. Now that we've explored the power of prioritizing what we can control in our decision-making, let's shift our focus to the next key aspect of Stoic living, embracing simplicity. In a world full of distractions and complexities, simplifying our lives can be a powerful way to align our actions with our core values and sharpen our minds even further. Let's dive into how Stoicism teaches us to simplify and focus on what truly matters. Number 6, the power of simplification. In our fast-paced world, where information overload and constant distractions are the norm, the art of simplification has become more crucial than ever. We are bombarded daily with noise, social media alerts, emails, unsolicited opinions, and countless other distractions that demand our attention. And yet, amid this chaos, the Stoics understood a timeless truth. Clarity and wisdom emerge, not from accumulation, but from simplification. By eliminating distractions and stripping away the unnecessary, we can create the mental space needed to focus on what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often spoke of the need to simplify his thoughts and actions. He believed that a clear mind, free from clutter and complexity, was essential for making sound decisions and living virtuously. In fact, one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolbox is the ability to simplify not only our external circumstances but our internal world. When we focus on what truly matters, on our values, our purpose, and the present moment, we sharpen our minds and increase our capacity for rational thought. But why is simplification so important for intellectual clarity? The answer lies in the nature of distraction. When our minds are overloaded with extraneous information or cluttered with unnecessary worries, it becomes difficult to focus on the things that truly matter. We may feel overwhelmed, pulled in multiple directions, and incapable of making clear decisions. In contrast, when we simplify by removing distractions, prioritizing what is important, and focusing on our inner thoughts, we free ourselves from mental chaos and allow our intellectual clarity to shine through. The Stoics recognize that the path to wisdom requires focus. For example, Epictetus taught that we should focus on what is within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our reactions. Everything else is beyond our influence. By simplifying our mental landscape and concentrating only on what we can control, we can make decisions that are aligned with our values, leading to a more purposeful and thoughtful life. Let's consider a modern scenario. You're working on an important project, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications, your email inbox is overflowing, and your mind is racing with 1,000 thoughts. How can you think clearly, let alone produce quality work in such an environment? The Stoic approach would be to simplify the situation. First, eliminate the distractions. Silence your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and take a moment to center your mind. Focus only on the task at hand, removing everything that isn't directly relevant to your goal. By simplifying the environment, You make room for deeper focus and intellectual clarity. The concept of simplification also extends beyond external distractions. It's about simplifying our thoughts and priorities. Often we make life more complicated by overthinking or overplanning, trying to control every outcome or micromanage every detail. But Stoicism teaches that wisdom lies in accepting the natural flow of events, focusing on what's in our control, and releasing the need to overcomplicate our responses. By letting go of the unnecessary complexities, we make space for more straightforward, rational thinking. A practical Stoic exercise in simplification involves regularly asking yourself, what is essential here? What truly matters? By doing so, you remind yourself of your core values and goals, eliminating distractions that pull you away from them. This focus on the essential brings clarity to your thoughts, helping you navigate challenges with greater wisdom and intention. Simplicity also enables us to avoid unnecessary mental clutter in a world that often encourages us to multitask and juggle multiple responsibilities at once. The Stoic principle of focusing on one thing at a time stands in stark contrast. When we simplify our approach by focusing fully on the task at hand, rather than splitting our attention, we enhance our intellectual clarity and improve the quality of our work. Moreover, simplification doesn't just apply to our work life. It extends to all aspects of our existence, our relationships, our goals, our personal values. In our relationships, for example, simplifying means focusing on the quality of connection rather than the quantity of interactions. It means giving our full attention to the people we care about, listening actively and fostering deeper, more meaningful connections. In the pursuit of wisdom, the Stoics understood that life itself can often be overly complicated. By embracing the power of simplification, we strip away the distractions, the excesses, and the unnecessary complexities that cloud our judgment. We create space for deeper thinking, greater clarity, and a more focused, purposeful life. As we reflect on the power of simplification in fostering intellectual clarity, it becomes evident that this Stoic practice doesn't just sharpen our minds, it also enhances our ability to make wise, intentional decisions in every aspect of our lives. But how do we remain focused and disciplined enough to maintain this clarity in the face of temptation and distraction? This is where the next Stoic principle comes in, self-discipline. Let's explore how cultivating self-discipline can help us stay on course and maintain mental clarity, even when faced with distractions. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this crucial Stoic practice. As we've explored today, the power of simplification is an essential tool in fostering intellectual clarity and making smarter decisions. In a world filled with distractions, the Stoic practice of focusing on what truly matters, not just externally, but internally, can make all the difference in how we live, think, and act. By eliminating unnecessary complexity, we create space for rational thought, deeper focus, and a more purposeful life. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. What are you complicating in your life? Right now, that could be simplified. Whether it's your daily routine, your goals, or even your relationships, simplifying might just be the key to unlocking clearer thinking and more meaningful progress. If you found today's insights valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more Stoic wisdom that will help you lead a smarter, more fulfilling life. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could benefit from these powerful Stoic practices. Lastly, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's one area of your life you plan to simplify after watching this video? Let's start a conversation about how we can all embrace the power of simplicity and make wiser choices. Stay focused, stay intentional, and as always, live according to nature. See you in the next video.